Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order this Wednesday, June 17th, 2026 meeting of the South Whitehall Township Board of Commissioners. I'll note for the record that all 5 commissioners are present in person this evening. At this time, if you would all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to note that all public sessions of the South Whitehall Township Board of Commissioners are electronically recorded, filed, and posted to the Township website for public access. At this time, I'd like to ask our Township Manager, Tom Petrucci, to please review our public and virtual meeting rules.
Thank you. The public and virtual meeting rules are as follows. Courtesy of the floor for non-agenda items will be at the beginning and end of the agenda. Public comment will be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. For all listed agenda items, the board president will call for courtesy of the floor prior to the Board of Commissioners taking action on that specific agenda item. For in-person attendees, please raise your hand to be recognized, then move to the podium when directed. You will be asked to state your name and address for the record and may then proceed with asking your question. For those participating virtually, please mute your microphone or telephone to avoid any background noise that may cause interference during the meeting. The chat box feature will be active throughout the meeting. If you have a comment or question, please type your full name and address into the chat box. The staff member monitoring GoToMeeting will then unmute your microphone and you will have the opportunity to comment or ask a question. I would like to note that the meeting packet with all meeting materials to be reviewed by the board for tonight's meeting was posted on the Township website during the afternoon of Friday, June 12th, and is available on the Township website under the Events and Agendas section. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I'd also like to announce that the Board of Commissioners did meet in executive session on Friday, June 5th, and prior to this evening's June 17th meeting in executive session to discuss legal and personnel matters. Agenda item 4, courtesy of the floor. This is the first of 2 opportunities this evening, the second being at the end of our meeting, for members of the public to raise public comment on any non-agenda items. When I call on you, please approach the lectern, turn on the microphone, provide your name and address for the record, and then you may proceed with your 5-minute comment. Other members of the public who wish to address. Yes, sir. If we could just make sure the microphone is on for you. Here's a green light. Perfect.
Oh, there we go. Good evening. I'm Ryan Eunice, 2927 Orfield Road. I just had a couple quick questions specifically about Atlas. So I know on the June 5th memo, that 161-page memo, I think well, first of all, great job with it, by the way. I was actually pleasantly surprised with how thorough it was. But I believe it said that the deadline was still July 31st, but I just want to make sure, is that still the deadline or have you guys been granted an extension?
Sure. Tom, if you could just please address, and actually for Mr. Eunice's benefit and everyone's, just next steps with Atlas, what the new deadlines are, and where we're at as a township in the interest of full disclosure.
Absolutely. And yeah, thank you for noting the voluminous nature of the review and the comprehensive nature of it. Appreciate that. So the deadline has been extended to August 31st per written time extension. And as noted today, we notified the public that the Planning Commission is on July 9th at the Springhouse Middle School. So they will appear before the Planning Commission at that meeting. No new materials can be reviewed during that Planning Commission meeting. So the applicant would have to submit by the July deadline to be placed on the August Planning Commission meeting for any review of any new plans or new material submissions. So they're reviewing their original May submission materials at the July 9th Planning Commission meeting.
So to add to that, basically the memo that you referenced, the materials that you referenced, that's sort of the scope that the Planning Commission will be operating in on July 9th.
Okay.
And as a result of that too, the recommendations of staff that were contained in that is also sort of the sphere in which the Planning Commission will be operating.
All right, sounds good. Just one quick follow-up. We actually answered my second question already, but so I didn't know that the extension was granted until you said that. Is there another way that that information could come across to the public, just make sure it's formally noted?
For the notice that we sent out today for the meeting, we could, I can consider with staff, adding the dates on which they run for all projects. So I will take that under consideration.
Great, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your comments. Are there any other members of the public who wish to offer any public comment on non-agenda items at this time? Seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 5, minutes. 5A, the June 3rd, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting minutes have been distributed to the board for their review. Are there any questions or comments from any of the commissioners on the meeting minutes? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt said meeting minutes as presented?
Motion.
A motion from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Commissioner Fellinger-Ricker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 6, ordinances. 6A. We have an ordinance of South Whitehall Township authorizing the execution of a cable franchise agreement between the Township and Verizon Pennsylvania LLC. And I'll ask our Township Manager, Tom Petrucci, to please present.
Thank you. So Verizon has requested a cable franchise that would permit it to provide cable television services within South Whitehall Township over its existing fiber to the premises or FTTP network. So following negotiations between Verizon and the Township Special Legal Counsel, Eckert Siemens, the proposed cable franchise agreement and authorizing ordinance have been prepared for the board's consideration. And this evening, we would ask if you were inclined to move forward to advertise that ordinance. So the agreement includes provisions related to franchise fees, customer service standards, public, educational, and governmental access channel opportunities, service to designated public facilities, insurance and indemnification requirements, and enforcement mechanisms. So a summary of those provisions are as follows. So term would be for 5 years. 5% would be for the franchise fee, so that Verizon would pay the township a franchise fee equal to 5% of gross revenues derived from cable services provided within the township. And I'd like to note that's consistent with the other fees paid by the other two providers, Service Electric and RCM. Quarterly fee payments, they would be paid on a quarterly basis, and the township has exclusive audit and review rights available to it within that agreement. Verizon would also provide public educational and government access if the township was inclined to utilize that for any educational or governmental programming. Service to public facilities, again, if the township were inclined to utilize that, they could have those services here at the township building and other public buildings owned and maintained by the township. The agreement also incorporates enforceable customer service standards consistent with applicable FCCC requirements, standard insurance and indemnification language. And then we also had added a public safety commitment. So Verizon has obligations under this agreement to protect public health, safety, welfare, and the public rights of way in connection with its FTTP network. So as noted, we would request authorization to advertise the ordinance, which is of course required before you can take final action to adopt the ordinance and then approve the proposed franchise agreement. So this is just the first step in the process. Bryce Beard, attorney with Eckert Siemens, is on remotely and is available to answer any questions. So unless there's any questions, I would ask a motion to authorize the advertisement of the ordinance.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? I'll just add, Tom, I've heard from many residents for several years their interest in having Verizon be an additional cable service provider in the township. So I want to thank staff and council for helping to bring this agreement to fruition and hopefully get it enacted in short order. So thank you, Tom. Are there any members of the public who wish to offer comment or questions on this item? Any online, Dave? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt said resolution approving a grant right away? Wrong item. Is there a motion to proceed with the advertising of said ordinance under 6A?
Motion.
A motion from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second? Second. A second from Commissioner Gronowski. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 7, resolutions. 7A, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Township of South Whitehall, Lehigh County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving a grant of right-of-way agreement between South Whitehall Township and PPL Electric Utilities Corporation for the installation of electric and communication facilities on property identified as Lehigh County tax parcel number 547751969-156-1. And I'll ask our township manager to please present this item.
Thank you. So this grant of right-of-way agreement between the township and PPL is for property that the township owns located along Parkland Drive. So it's just over 3.4 acres of open space land. It's within the Parkland Farm subdivision, and as I noted, it's owned by South Whitehall Township. So PPL has requested a permanent right-of-way to allow for the construction, operation, and maintenance of electric and communication facilities on the property. So it's specifically 2 anchor guys and associated overhead electric and communications facilities as depicted on the plan. We did ask for clarification as to what this project entails, and it's per PPL, it's a reliability project to refeed 3-phase line near 1407 Bulldog Drive. So they're upgrading 1-phase lines to 3-phase between poles 47220 and 47157. So this will help prevent overloading, thereby reducing the possibility of outages and supporting modern energy demands. So it's pretty standard language with PPL, includes their right to tree trim and conduct vegetation management activities within 25 feet of the electric and communication line, center line. And unless there's questions, I would ask the board to approve the resolution that authorizes me to sign the grant of right-of-way agreement.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any questions? I guess, Sharon.
Just to clarify, just because there have been so many questions from the public in regard to energy, this is in no way the proposed projects that are out and about and may come before the board. This has nothing to do with them. Is that correct?
We did ask that question. That's why we asked for further clarification. So to my understanding, upgrading the 1-phase lines to 3-phase at this point wouldn't be part of a larger project because they said it's a reliability project. However, I do want to clarify that should a larger project occur, that this would help. This would be not part of it, but it's facilitating it, if that makes sense, right? Like if they're upgrading the lines overall, then this would also carry that electricity in the same manner. I'm not a technical electrical person, but you know, I'm trying to explain that it's not at this time related. It could be in the future. They could be upgrading reliability across the board is what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board questions or comments? Any from the public? Dave?
Hello, Martha. You can unmute and ask your question. Give your name and address.
Hi, yeah, Martha Teal, 2080 Lawford Avenue. I'm guessing you have partially answered this, but my question is Resolution A on tonight's agenda related to putting in the power lines to that parcel of land on which Atlas Data Center would be built? And if so, how many residential properties would be impacted? And specifically, would it be going through, would these power lines be built on people's backyards?
This project itself has nothing to do with any extensions, right? This is only 2 anchor guys and electric and communication facilities. However, what I was clarifying was that should there be a project in the future where the lines are upgraded, this would fall into that. But that is not what this specific resolution is approving this evening, right? Like, so if you're upgrading from phase 1 to phase 3, in the future, that obviously could carry more electricity, and that's my understanding. I'm not explaining it necessarily the best, but the long and short of it is that this evening you're not authorizing any type of major PPL infrastructure upgrade that would be related to Project Atlas or a substation or anything of that sort or kind. But I want to also be transparent and indicate that because it's a reliability project, it's carrying more electricity, that yes, like, you know, overall this could be construed as that, but it's not that per se, right? And I don't know if I'm communicating it the best way, if there's anyone else.
And to her question, actually, the question on impact on homes, this is a right of way over township property. So
Correct.
it's not impacting any homes. And actually the parcel identified, I know it's identified by a number, but we have a map up on our screen right now. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's a piece of property right here across the street from the township building towards the Parkland Farms development.
But yes, it's not in any way, shape, or form authorizing any type of lines throughout the township. It's upgrading existing infrastructure. And Herb, I don't know if there's a way you could more easily explain the technical aspect of that.
Yeah, currently it's single phase wire that's run. So when you go to 3-phase, there's going to be a guide with will hold 3 separate lines now. So instead of 1 line, it's going to have 3 lines. That's all they're looking to do here. They said it is not related to any project, as Tom has said numerous times. So they're just looking to make it a better situation for everyone.
Yeah. So by authorizing it this evening, the board is not allowing PPL to extend to put in a substation as well as any other new lines. That's not what's occurring right now.
Thank you for the clarification. Are there any other questions, Dave, online? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt said resolution approving a grant right-of-way agreement between South Whitehall Township and PPL Electric Utilities Corporation for the installation of electric and communication facilities on Lehigh County tax parcel 547751969-156-1?
Motion.
A motion from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second? Second from Commissioner Johns. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 7B. We have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of South Whitehall Township, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the township manager to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's Automated Red Light Enforcement, or ARLE, Transportation Enhancements Grant Program for the Citronia Elementary School Traffic Warning Devices Project. And again, I would ask Tom to please present.
Thank you. So the township has been working with Parkland School District on upgrading the school zone traffic warning devices on Broadway across from Citronia Elementary School. So the school district actually submitted a PennDOT HOP or PennDOT permit for school warning device permit number S5312749, which was approved by the department in September of last year. So it provides for the installation of overhead school speed limit flashers, speed display signs, associated signage, electrical controls, and related infrastructure improvements intended to improve traffic safety during school arrival and dismissal periods. This is something that, like I said, the township and the school district have been working in cooperation with each other. At this point, the project cost is estimated per an estimate prepared by an engineer at $136,000. So trying to help both the district and the school, the district and the township to minimize the output of costs here for the good of the overall public safety. The idea came up to submit an ARLE grant, the Automated Red Light Enforcement Grant, which was also a grant program the township had utilized for the Hamilton and Lincoln enhancements that are currently nearing construction finalization. So taking into account some comments received by PennDOT during the scoping review of this application, there were ineligible costs of that $136,000 total project costs. So the township grant request would be $98,000 with a local match required for $38,000. So should PennDOT approve this grant, we would need to work with the school district to have an agreement to establish responsibilities for the required local matching funds and project implementation. However, I want to note that the township would be the submitting entity. So, and because the school district's not an eligible entity to submit the grant application. So today we don't have a separate agreement memorializing that, but I do want to emphasize that would be a requirement to work with the school district for those matching costs. And my understanding in speaking with the school district was that this would be more amenable than paying for the overall project cost should the grant be awarded. So at this point, the resolution just authorizes the township to submit the grant application.
Thank you, Tom. I also want to thank your coordination with the school district. I know there's been several community members and school board members who have raised traffic safety issues along Broadway for many years. So I hope that we're awarded this grant and we can proceed with the project in coordination with the school district. Are there any other questions or comments from members of the board? Any from the public or online? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt said resolution to submit application to PennDOT's Arley Transportation Enhancements Grant Program for the Citronia Elementary School Traffic Warning Devices Project?
Make a motion.
A motion from Commissioner Fellinger-Ricker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Kelly. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 7C, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of South Whitehall Township, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, appointing Conrad Siegel Investment Advisor for the township pension plans and authorizing execution of related agreements. And again, I'd ask Tom to please present.
Thank you. So the township issued a request for proposals for pension administration, actuarial, investment advisory, and custodial services. So the pension committee has completed its review of the submissions received. So after conducting several evaluations of the qualifications of the firm, evaluating their prior municipal pension expertise, service offerings, costs, proposed staffing, and who would be assigned to the township, the committee recommends the appointment of Conrad Siegel Investment Advisors Incorporated to provide investment advisory services for the township's pension plans, as well as actuarial consulting services and the administrative services. So all aspects of the RFP, the pension committee is recommending that you award to Conrad Siegel. The resolution before you would allow the township manager to sign all the relative agreements and provide for the pension solicitor, which is also Eckert Siemens, to finalize that process as well. So I want to note that Conrad Siegel has been the actuary to the township for approximately 36 years, and they serve numerous Pennsylvania municipal pension plans. They have extensive experience with Act 205, Act 600, and a strong understanding of governmental retirement systems. So the investment personnel would include David Lytle, and then Jeffrey Myers is the consulting actuary. So if the board's inclined, I would seek a motion to approve the resolution before you, which again allows the township manager to sign all of the necessary agreements to effectuate that recommendation.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board?
Just a quick comment. As you know, Commissioner Johns and I are members of the pension committee, and we both felt that Conrad Siegel provided the best choice in terms of the applicants that responded to RFP. Their pricing was, when all said and done, the lowest they were offered to provide all three of the services that Tom mentioned. From an actuarial standpoint, Jeff Myers has institutional knowledge, which is critical because he's been doing this for the township for 36 years. I was impressed with the custodial services in terms of our employees, plan beneficiaries, having a system that will allow them to easily apply for pensions when their time comes to do so, and to have the necessary support while they're receiving their pensions in a manner that makes their life a lot easier when they enjoy a retirement. I was also impressed with their investment advisement plan. They were in line from a strategic standpoint with all the applicants. But they understand municipal pension plans. They have 59 municipalities in Pennsylvania that they service. And overall, we felt that they were the best option available to us. And Tom, if you have anything you want to add, or
I agree with everything you say.
Well, thank you both, and thank you, Glenn and Tommy, for serving on the pension committee. It's not something that automatically comes to mind when one might think of municipal government, but it's a important obligation that we owe to our employees and an obligation that lasts certainly long after our time. So thank you both for the recommendation. I'll ask if there are any other questions or comments from any other board members. Are there any questions or comments on this item from members of the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt said resolution appointing Conrad Siegel as investment advisor for South Whitehall Township pension plans and authorizing execution of related agreements?
Make a motion.
A motion from Commissioner Johns, a second from Commissioner Gronowski. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 7D, we have a resolution to appoint Barry Izett and Associates Incorporated to serve as the residential building code official of South Whitehall Township. I'll ask our Director of Development, Ken Baird, to please present. And Ken, actually, I believe you also have 7E, the resolution appointing Key Codes to serve as our commercial building code official. So if you want to just introduce both in one, and then we can take them separately, but at the same time.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. President. Both of the resolutions reveal that one of my new friends here at the township is retiring. So following on the heels of what you just adopted, John France, after 31 years, has decided to retire. And so for many of the folks who work here in this township or live in this township, they've come to know John as the fire marshal and the building code official. And that special designation and certification of BCO identifies John as somebody who analyzes plans and blueprints, does field inspections, signs off on permits and certificates of occupancy to the highest standard that we can count on. And so tonight's resolutions identify Barry Izett as our potential, with your adoption of this resolution, building code official for residential projects, and Key Codes as our building code official for commercial projects. And both groups have agreed to work with us as John prepares for retirement to transition the role of building code official and to thereafter work with those of us in the permitting and zoning department to make it work right. And so going forward, we hope John can be around to see our success, but we're so grateful for what he's provided us. And both resolutions are provided for your review, and with your reassurance, someone who wants to become a building code official for a municipality really already has to have had that designation bestowed upon them by the state. And thereafter, especially for municipalities, we're looking for somebody who is a current certified third-party agency. Both of them already provide us third-party services. So we've had this conversation with Key Codes and with Barry Izett, and they're prepared to take on these roles.
Excellent. Thank you, Ken. Are there any questions? We'll take these individually. Are there any questions or comments on the appointment of Barry Izett and Associates to serve as our residential building code official? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt said resolution appointing Barry Izett and Associates as the residential BCO of South Whitehall Township?
Motion.
A motion from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Commissioner Fellinger-Ricker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. I'll ask if there are any questions or comments from the board on the motion to appoint Key Codes as the commercial BCO for South Whitehall. Any questions or comments on that item from members of the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt said resolution appointing Key Codes Inspection Agency as the commercial BCO for South Whitehall Township?
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Commissioner Johns. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Gronowski. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 7F, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of South Whitehall Township appointing primary sewage enforcement officers for the township, and I'll ask our township manager, Tom Petrucci, to please present.
Thank you. So the Township Board of Commissioners had already approved Hanover Township as the sewage enforcement officer agency, as well as Christopher Taylor, Scott Brown, Paul Gallagher, Saba, and Jacob Schrey, as well as Luke Eggert as SEOs earlier this year. So we are asking the board to reapprove the resolution to essentially add Sean Cunningham. So upon review of Act 537, you must list the actual sewage enforcement officers by name and certification number. So this resolution does so. and also, like I said, adds Sean Cunningham. So we're not making a substantive change here. We're just allowing for another SEO to perform work on behalf of the township. And the reason Hanover Engineering indicated that is due to the workload that they're seeing. But Chris Taylor will remain the primary point of contact.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? Any from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt said resolution appointing the primary SEOs for South Whitehall Township?
Make a motion.
A motion from Commissioner Fellinger-Ricker. Is there a second?
Yep.
Second from Commissioner Kelly. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 7G, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Township of South Whitehall, Lehigh County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving the settlement stipulation in the matter of College Heights Building Company Incorporated versus County of Lehigh Board of Assessment Appeals, docket number 2025-C-4811. And I'd ask Tom to please present again.
All right, thank you. So College Heights Building Company filed an assessment appeal with the Lehigh County Board of Assessment Appeals. So this is for, as Commissioner Ruff indicated, 3021 College Heights Boulevard. So following proceedings before the board and a subsequent appeal to the Court of Common Pleas of Lehigh County, the parties have agreed to a settlement stipulation. So we are a taxing authority in this matter and party to the stipulation. So effective January 1st, 2026, the assessment is reduced from just over $839,000 to just over $642,000 based on a fair market value of $1.3 million and a common level ratio of 49.4%. So the property's assessment shall remain at $642,200 until otherwise changed in accordance with law. The township did take receipt of an appraisal which shows the fair market of the property as $840,000 as of April 11th, 2025. So the fair market value was established as $1.3 million for tax year 2026. So the proposed settlement would reduce the property's assessed value, like I said, to $642,200, which is a reduction of $197,600. So that for taking into account general taxes and fire tax, so it's $563.11 in general township revenue, and then $148.20 in fire tax revenue impact to the township. Not talking about the school district. So if the board is inclined, I would ask for a motion to approve the resolution and allow the township solicitor to execute the stipulation of council on behalf of the township.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? Any from members of the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt said resolution approving said settlement stipulation in the matter of College Heights Building Company Incorporated?
Motion.
A motion from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second? Second from Commissioner Granovsky. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 8, motions. 8A, we have a motion to approve the authorization of the allocation of $37,317.67 for the Citronia Fire Company Tower Apparatus Compartment Management and Equipment Mounting Package to Fire Apparatus Capital Account number 03411-003-40290. And I'll ask Tom to please present.
Thank you. So with the new Citronia Fire Company aerial tower ladder truck anticipated to be delivered by the end of this year, we also anticipated the need for funding of ancillary equipment, compartment management systems, mounting hardware, and related apparatus outfitting costs for that aerial truck. So that equipment package has now been finalized. The total came in at $37,317.67. The board had discussed this probably actually now almost 3 years ago, where the township had anticipated expenditures of up to $100,000 for these ancillary items. So the final costs were significantly lower than originally estimated. And I'd like to note that the finance department has actually set aside the interest for this apparatus money. So we've actually earned just over $129,000 just by moving the money to a liquid money market account with a higher yield. So we've adequately prepared for this ancillary equipment from a fiscal standpoint. So because these expenditures are directly related to the acquisition and preparation of the new tower apparatus, it is recommended that the $37,317.67 be allocated to fire apparatus capital account number ending in 40290. And then this is for the 2025 Pierce Enforcer Ascendant Mid-Mount Tower apparatus. So I'd seek a motion to authorize that allocation. And I do want to note, this will require a budget amendment at the end of the year, which is approved by resolution. So just making you aware of that.
Thank you, Tom. And I want to thank Tricia and Kristen and the entire finance team for their foresight in moving those funds to a higher yield account. Any other questions or comments from members of the board on this agenda item? Any from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the authorization of the allocation of $37,317.67 for the Citrone Fire Company Tower Apparatus Compartment Management and Equipment Mounting Package to Fire Apparatus Capital Account number 034110003-40290?
Make a motion.
A motion from Commissioner Fellinger-Ricker and a second from Commissioner Kelly. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 8B, we have a motion to approve the replacement of the booster pumps at 41st Street Well and Booster Station, including variable frequency drive integration into the SCADA system. And I'll ask our Director of Township Operations, Herb Bender, to please present.
Thank you. The Public Works Department is requesting approval to replace the booster pump at the 41st Street Well and Booster Pump Station and install a new variable frequency drive as part of the project. The existing booster pump has been in service for approximately 29 years and is experiencing operational issues. When the pump is not running, water is flowing back into the well, which introduces air into the water distribution system, creating reliability concerns due to the age and condition of the equipment. Replacement is necessary to maintain system performance, improve operation control, and prevent future service disruptions. The replacement work will be performed by Cole Brothers, Inc., and with a total project cost of $150,700 through a CoStarz contract. CoStarz is who actually provides all our emergency services now when we need them at the stations. To reduce the project cost, Public Works personnel Ron and Jason will work alongside the contractor during the installation. Their participation will result in an $80,000 reduction from the contractor's original pricing, reducing the township's net cost for the pump replacement work to $70,700. And then we will need Optimum Controls Corporation to be engaged to introduce the variable frequency drive into the SCADA programming for $5,000. So we're just looking for a motion to move forward. I just want to let the board know this work here was not budgeted for in 2026. So what we're going to do is get this done so we can get the station back up, and we're going to re-budget for the Kmart station in the 2027 budget. So everything will still be in line with the budgeted number in this account.
Excellent. Thank you, Herb. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? Yes, Sharon.
I have a few things. First of all, thank you to Ron and Jason, because that will be a considerable savings for, I think it was 80,000, right? So thank you so much. Please express that to them. I do have a question. Will these three items that we're talking about, will that help with the known water pressure issues within the township?
Right now, currently, yes, because this station is offline.
Okay.
So this is on the southern portion of the township, which when we're putting air into the system does play havoc to the pressure because the pipe's not all the way full. There's an air pocket in there. So this will help with that. I can't guarantee it's going to solve every pressure issue, but yes, this will help us with another booster station in the southern.
That's great. And then my last question has to do with the Kmart. So that's in good enough shape for us to put off to 2027?
Yes,
That-
I worked with Ron and Jason, who are the two main operators in the station. And we took a look at, as you'll see, we're coming for two more stations.
Yes.
We took the one that we felt most comfortable with moving to 2027.
Thank you. Any other board questions or comments? Any from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the replacement of the booster pumps at 41st Street Well and the booster station? Motion from Commissioner Johns. Is there a second?
Second?
Second from Commissioner Fellinger-Ricker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 8C, we have a motion to approve the replacement of the booster pumps at the Hamilton Booster Station, including a variable frequency drive integration into the SCADA system. And I'll ask Herb to again, please present this item.
Thank you. Public Works Department is requesting approval to replace the booster pumps at the Hamilton Pump Station and install a new variable frequency drive as part of the project. The existing booster pump has been in service for approximately 43 years and is experiencing operational issues. The replacement work, again, will be performed by Cole Brothers with a total project cost of $215,000. And again, we will need optimum controls to program the VFD into the SCADA system. I just want everyone to be aware, this is the worst case scenario price. We didn't want to get into where we said Ron and Jason could help here. While they're helping here, we're going to have to move some people around. So I didn't want to put any of that into this request and the next one until we work through the first one and know we can have them work side by side.
Thank you, Herb. Any other questions or comments from members of the board on this motion? Any from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the replacement of the booster pumps at the Hamilton Booster Station?
Motion.
A motion from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second? A second from Commissioner Fellinger-Ricker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. The last of our motions this evening, 8D, we have a motion to approve the replacement of the booster pumps at the Winchester Boosting Station, including variable frequency drive integration into the SCADA system. Herb, please present.
Thank
This
you.
last of the three.
Public Works is requesting approval to replace the booster pumps at the Winchester Pump Station, install a new variable frequency drive as part of the project. This existing booster pump is approximately been in service for 43 years also. It is experiencing operational issues. This pump has been rebuilt twice already since I've been here, so it's at its life limit. So we're going to look to get that done by Cole Brothers again for $215,000 and optimum controls for $5,000 to do the programming in the SCADA with the variable frequency drive. Again, this is the worst case scenario. We will assess it as we go to if we can keep Ron and Jason with them to help lower those costs.
Excellent. Thank you, Herb. Any questions or comments from members of the board? Any from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the replacement of the booster pumps at the Winchester Boosting Station? Motion from Commissioner Johns and a second from Commissioner Fellinger-Ricker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Herb. Agenda item 9, correspondence and information items. 9A, boards and commissions, informational items and vacancies. Ask our Township Manager, Tom Petrucci, to please present.
Thank you. So this Thursday, June 18th at 7 p.m. is the Emergency Management Services meeting held at Citronia EMS. Monday, June 22nd, 6 p.m. Landscape and Shade Tree Commission is actually canceled, as well as the Environmental Advisory Council meeting also canceled that same evening. Wednesday, June 24th, 7 p.m. is the Zoning Hearing Board meeting. Wednesday, July 1st, 10 a.m. is the Civil Service Commission meeting. And Wednesday, July 1st, 7 p.m. is the Board of Commissioners meeting. As announced today, Thursday, July 9th is the next Planning Commission meeting on which Project Atlas will be on the agenda, and it will be held at the Springhouse Middle School.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom, can I ask a question there? I did notice when we posted that update online that there were several individuals that were were concerned that there was no virtual ability. But the reason for that is because we will be at Springhouse. Is that correct?
Correct. We're concerned about like the ability to facilitate a accurate virtual meeting at an off-site location. I don't want to represent that we're having, and then for whatever reason we have a technical issue, that would not be a good outcome for the township.
Understood. I just want to make sure that the public had that information.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll point out that the last time the township had to engage in an off-site meeting was for the E&B Hotel application in front of the Board of Commissioners for a conditional use hearing. That was held, I wasn't on the board at the time, I was an interested resident in the audience. That was held at the high school for some meetings, at Springhouse Middle School for some meetings, and the same scenario applied there. We were unfortunately not able to offer the virtual option, but there was increased room for residents and parking and so forth, given the off-site move. So it's sort of standard practice for how we've operated for similar projects of large interest.
Yeah, and for those that attend board meetings on a regular basis, we do run into technical issues now and then with our current setup. So it's just not a risk that I think we should take at this time.
Thank you, Tom. Agenda item 10, courtesy of the floor. This is the second of two opportunities this evening for members of the public to offer comment on non-agenda items. Is there anyone here who wishes to address the board? Yes, sir, Mr. Torrey. It's good to see you, sir. How are you?
Getting better. Yeah. Haven't been here since February. Dave Torrey, 1351 Deerfield Drive. I just want to commend all that were involved in the design and engineering and construction of the Smith-Davis drainage field. That is first of all, it was far more extensive than I thought. I didn't know that it was going up a lot closer to Route 22. But so far, we had 3/4 inch of rain the other night. There's no mud on trucks or I mean, on Springhouse. So anyway, I just want to commend that. And the other question I had, maybe for Herb, are those little shrubs, are they going to be big trees or just, what are they?
They will grow to be bigger. They are all plants that help absorb a lot of water.
Okay.
So they're used in rain gardens and stuff like that. So yes, they will get bigger as time goes on.
Yeah, you're like 4 or 5 feet or something like that? Or?
I would say maybe 3 feet tall.
Okay, yeah. It's a very impressive project.
Yeah, I got to give Tony a lot of credit on that also. He helped with a lot of the design, and then the Public Works Department put it in. So it was a good project, and everyone worked together to make it happen.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Public Works people down there towards the end. Of course, you're trying to water it now. Keep.
You like our water truck we made up?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Torrey. And I also will note something that I found of particular interest during the project that both Herb and Tony explained to me was although we had to take some of the tillable land away to put in the buffering zone, we were actually able to reclaim other land on the property that can be used for farming. So it balances out, and having the agricultural perpetual use a little further back from the street also helps with public safety and wildlife running out in the middle of the night. So thank you, Mr. Torrey, for your comments. Any other members of the public who wish to address the board on any non-agenda items? Any online, Dave? All right. Seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 11. I do need a motion to authorize the payment of our invoices and disbursements. Is there a motion?
Motion.
A motion from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second? A second from Commissioner Granovsky. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. We have no executive sessions scheduled for the remainder of this evening. At this time, I would seek a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
A motion from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second? Second from Commissioner Granovsky. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. This meeting is adjourned. Have a good night, everyone.